These people made a huge mistake. They mocked, insulted, and laughed at the trainer of legendary boxer Manny Pacquiao. But the karma of their bad deeds will make you satisfied and laugh out loud when you see his arrogant face turned into a street clown by Manny Pacquiao's punch, and ultimately end his boxing career. Before we discuss the karma and background of this arrogant boxer, don't forget to hit the like button and click the subscribe button first. They didn't insult Pacquiao directly, but they chose the wrong person to laugh at. His trainer. His mentor. Someone who has been battling Parkinson's for years, Freddie Roach. In 2001, at a small gym called Wild Card, two people met, a skinny Filipino kid who had almost lost everything, and an aging trainer whose life was secretly plagued by illness. Manny Pacquiao was a nobody in America at the time. He was from General Santos, Philippines. He had been a world flyweight champion. But his career was fading. He even lost on home soil and lost his title because he was overweight. With what little spirit he had left, he went to Los Angeles. His goal? 1. To find a trainer. Pacquiao and his community stopped by a modest Los Angeles gym, Wild Card Boxing Club. There, legendary trainer Freddie Roach was training some local boxers. They asked Roach to try a boxing session with Manny. Just a tryout. Nothing serious. But what happened was far from ordinary. The first sparring that changed everything. Roach later said, "So I took Manny's first punch, and I knew this kid was different. Very fast. Sharp. And more importantly, he had instincts." One training session. That was all it took for Roach to be convinced. And Pacquiao felt a good fit with this trainer, too. Not much was said. But they immediately connected. That day, amidst the pounding of punches and dripping sweat, a bond was born, between student and trainer, between fighter and trainer. First fight together. A few weeks later, Manny Pacquiao got the chance to replace another fighter in a super bantamweight title fight against Lelo Ledwaba. Considered an underdog. Unknown. But with Roach by his side, Pacquiao fought a real monster. He won by KO in the 6th round. And from there, the world started asking, who is this Filipino kid? And who is his trainer? Achieving more wins, titles, and millions of dollars, Manny Pacquiao stuck with Roach. He never changed trainers. Never arrogant. Never forgetting who believed in him from the start. Freddie Roach himself continued training even as his Parkinson's disease worsened. But he was always present in the ring. Because for both of them, it wasn't just about boxing, it was about trust. However, something angered Manny Pacquiao. Boxers Antonio Margarito and Brandon Rios confronted Manny Pacquiao's trainer. There's an unwritten rule in boxing: you can insult your opponent, you can play dirty with words, but never get personal, especially when it comes to illness. In 2010, Antonio Margarito was preparing to fight Manny Pacquiao. HBO's 24/7 documentary cameras were following his training as usual. But when the cameras rolled, something caught his eye, even the audience couldn't believe it. Margarito mocked Roach's movements. He imitated tremors in his hands. He walked jerkily, as if illness were a joke. The video was broadcast to millions of viewers. The boxing world was shocked. Angry. Because what they were insulting wasn't just a trainer, but a symbol of resilience. Freddie Roach remained silent. He didn't respond. But he held it together. And Pacquiao? He didn't get angry during the press conference. He didn't even get angry during the interview. He just smiled. Because he knows the best response is with a punch. Antonio Margarito is a former professional boxer from Mexico known for his aggressive fighting style, strong stamina, and ability to withstand blows. However, his name is also associated with one of the most embarrassing scandals in modern boxing history. January 24, 2009. The boxing world was waiting for the big fight between Antonio Margarito and Sugar Shane Mosley at Staples Center in Los Angeles. Margarito arrived as a world champion. The Mexican had just destroyed Miguel Cotto with his hard-hitting, aggressive fighting style and incredible stamina. But that night, something was revealed. Something that would change Margarito's image forever. As Margarito prepared in the locker room, Shane Mosley's trainer, Nazem Richardson, noticed something odd about Margarito's hand wraps. The wraps seemed unusual, they felt hard, even dense. The California State Athletic Commission immediately intervened. Margarito's hand wraps were confiscated. Upon inspection, the results were shocking. Inside, there was a material containing plaster of Paris, a substance that, when exposed to sweat, hardens like cement. This isn't just illegal. It can kill. Margarito and his trainer, Javier Capetillo, were severely punished. Margarito's boxing license was revoked for 1 year. Capetillo was banned from coaching. And to make matters worse, the world began to ask, was this the first time? The public's eye turned to his previous fight. Miguel Cotto, his face was completely destroyed in his loss to Margarito in 2008. Now people are wondering, has Margarito's hand been weaponized since then? A year later, back to the time when Margarito insulted trainer Manny Pacquiao's illness, the public no longer greeted him as a hero, and the opponent awaiting him was no ordinary boxer. Manny Pacquiao. With the trainer Margarito mocked. Now, everything will be counted and avenged. Fairly. In the ring. Pacquiao didn't say a word. But in the ring, he spoke with his hands. November 13, 2010, Cowboys Stadium, Texas. Manny Pacquiao moved up to super welterweight, against the biggest opponent of his career. Literally. Antonio Margarito. Taller. Heavier. Longer reach. And, first to insult Pacquiao's trainer, Freddie Roach. Pacquiao didn't retaliate at the time. But his payback would come in the ring. From the first bell, the difference in quality was clear. Pacquiao was too fast. Too smart. Too disciplined. He danced in and out at angles Margarito couldn't follow. His combinations were lightning fast. His punches landed mercilessly. Margarito could only chase shadows. And his face was beginning to pay the price for his arrogance. Margarito's right eye was starting to swell badly. But he kept going. Typical of a stubborn fighter, taking things without thinking. But Pacquiao wasn't just attacking. He was punishing. Margarito started slow. His hands were heavy. But Manny kept dancing. This wasn't a fight anymore. This was a lesson. Pacquiao even turned to the referee, as if to ask, can't you see he's had enough? But the referee let the fight go. And Pacquiao, with a heart bigger than his hands, began to hold back. He didn't want to embarrass. He just wanted to remind. Margarito stood until the end. But he didn't win. What won was composure, patience, and the grace to exact revenge without a word. Pacquiao won unanimously. 474 clean punches. A broken orbital bone for Margarito. And an irreparable reputation. Margarito insulted a sick trainer. But Pacquiao chose a different path. He retaliated, with art. With class. With his hands. And as Freddie Roach said after the fight, that's payback. And we didn't even have to say a word. But the story isn't over with Antonio Margarito, because the video includes another taunt from someone named Brandon Rios. Brandon Rios was also involved in a confrontation at a Macau gym during training ahead of his 2013 fight with Pacquiao. In that incident, Rios' team, particularly Alex Ariza, kicked Roach and mocked his Parkinson's. Rios was criticized for not preventing the incident. Does this story need to be discussed? Leave your comments for the next story.